I have 6 brothers and sisters. My mother, she's a drug addict from the Edgewood neighborhood of Northeast D.C. And I kind of was in and out of group homes, in and out of juvenile detention centers, and I just kept hitting my head because I had no male guidance, right? I really had no guidance at all. I really was just learning however I learned. So eventually I ended up going to federal prison, and then I just got tired. So when I got tired, I was like, okay, what do I do next?
Live from the district. 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 Live from the district.
Welcome to Live from the District. I am Easy Street. Of course, this show is all about important people and important stories. Live from Southwest D.C. at 12 Stories. Want to thank them for having us. Listen, so as you probably know, I've been working really heavily in the community here in Washington, D.C. with the youth, and I gravitate and I collaborate with individuals who I think are some of the best individuals out here really on the, they say boots on the ground, okay? Individuals who are really in these trenches that are working with the youth, taking them outside of D.C., doing positive work with them, because that's one of the things that we've talked about on this show. You know, one of the biggest things that we need to do is, if we're really going to be serious about helping out the youth, is to be all about engaging them in different and exciting new ways. And we have a guy on the show today that is doing exactly that. Show your love right now for my man Marcelles.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Representation from the bottom, right?
Representation from the bottom.
How you doing, bro?
I'm great.
Now, me and you have worked together before at the Ones, man.
Yes, sir.
Ambassador, congratulations.
I'm ambassador. I graduated from the Ones program, and then from
Pathways.
there, I was a pathway participant, and then I took my resources and I started my own organization.
Wonderful. So now, for individuals that don't know what the Pathways program is, tell them what it is.
So the Pathways program basically is a program. I'm a felon, and so it gave me a chance and gave me different partnerships and ways to change my life around.
Mm-hmm. So talk about some of the things that you learned in the Pathways program. And by the way, I'm one of the facilitators of my music program. Has been working at Pathways at the Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement for like 2 years now. And you're one of the ambassadors, man. Talk about some of the things that you learned, because you guys go through a whole rack of stuff in nine weeks. So
basically, I just took every piece from every different mentor, then I applied to myself as yourself. We was down in the basement of the barbershop, cultivating a lot of different musical things, and from Dr. Majid, I learned how to plot and make a good business plan, and then I just kept on doing my thing.
Job readiness, you guys did employment sustainability. You guys had the shark thing. You guys set up LLCs.
We set up LLCs.
You guys
I was the one that won the $2,500
let me
prize.
let me hold something, bro.
Great minds think alike.
Okay, so now you use that money though. You use that money very wisely, and you started your own company, man. Talk about that.
So I started a foundation, actually a nonprofit organization called Representation for the Bottom. I'm gonna give a little bit of backstory on why I started my program. So I have 6 brothers and sisters. My mother, she's a drug addict from the Edgewood neighborhood of Northeast D.C. And I kind of was in and out of group homes, in and out of juvenile detention centers, and I just kept hitting my head because I had no male guidance, right? I really had no guidance at all. I really was just learning however I learned. So eventually I ended up going to federal prison, and then I just got tired. So when I got tired, I was like, okay, what do I do next? So then I realized it's a lot of youth out here that's just lost, that need attention. So that's how. So basically, I partner with people like Easy Street. My first project, I could collaborate with DC Black Broadway. DC Black Broadway. You ever heard of the play called
Of course.
Oh, you know about the play? Okay, great.
Yeah.
So
You're talking about Dr. Lavelle, right?
Dr. Lavelle.
Shout out to Dr. Lavelle.
Shout out Dr. Lavelle.
The Giz.
The Giz. This is my second cohort when it comes to the Giz. So what I did was, my first group of kids I ever had was the kids from Congress Park. what we did was they learned all the different things about how to be part of a play. So basically what they did all the stage hand work. They was part of the
They did the props and stuff
They
too?
did all the props.
Oh, wow.
They got paid for their services. I took them for 9 weeks. It was crazy, right? And the second time around, I just completed 9 weeks. 4 weeks ago, I did Potomac Gardens.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Oh, Potomac Gardens. Shout out. You know what? I got cousins that live in Potomac. Yes, I do. I would say their names, but that might cause a storm on social media. Okay.
Yeah.
And they famous too. All right. I'm going to just leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah.
Real quick. So you spent time.
Mhm.
You said you got tired. That was something, Marcellus, that clicked in there. It was something that changed your mind. Do you remember what changed your mind that kind of gave you the idea that, hey, look, I'm tired of this. When I get out, I want to do something different with my life?
So, not even speaking about the food. The food by itself should make anybody tired, right?
You're talking about in the feds.
Jail food in general, right? But what had me tired really was my son was abused while I was incarcerated, right? And when my son was abused, I felt helpless. Like I felt like I couldn't do anything about it. So I was crying in jail. I just felt I did not like feeling like I couldn't help my son, right? And during that time I was in trial. So while I was in trial, I was fighting trial, ended up beating trial, and then I had to end up when I came home, I was like, oh, I can't leave my son without protection. So ever since I've been home 6 years, I'm off parole. My organization's doing very well, and I just keep striving for perfection.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm hearing that you recently did something that I've never heard anybody do what you did, bro. That you brought D.C., Baltimore, and like some others, was in Jersey and Philadelphia youth together.
Yes.
Talk about this program that you produced.
Oh my God. So I'm gonna tell you from the beginning. So the way
I got to figure out how that worked too, bro. How did you do that? Because it's hard enough getting youngins from across the street from each other together.
And it was deeper than that. And we had three different neighborhoods for the first event. But I'm gonna tell you from the beginning. So how I engage youth is different than how everybody else engage youth. I engage youth with we have to find something fun to do, right? That engages you, but at the same time you have to learn. So I teach man time classes at the same time. So I was like, oh, they like shooting. They think it's fun to be killers out here. Let me do paintball, right? A lot of people gave me pushback about the paintball. Oh, they're using guns. Oh my God. What are you doing with them? And I was just like, I got this, right? So the first thing I did was I have individual neighborhoods I deal with my own relationship. So I deal with Leadroyd also, Potomac Gardens, and I deal with Congress Park, right? So I had my Leadroyd and the Congress Park kids. I had a bus just pull up around Congress Park with the Leadroyd kids in there, right?
Wow.
And I said, everybody get out, right? Everybody needs to get off this bus, and everybody's gonna be every other kid around here. The Leadroyd kids like, oh, you gonna bring us around here? Like, you gonna bring us to somebody else's neighborhood? I said, listen, we're against Baltimore, right? Because I set up the meeting between Baltimore. I have good connections in Baltimore, and then they brought their kids from the up the hill section of East Baltimore. So what ended up happening was we had established boundaries amongst each other first, right? So I had about 10 Leadroyd Park kids, 10 Congress Park kids. I said, listen, we about to go versus Baltimore. Y'all don't know each other, but none of this really matters for real, right? So what ended up happening was we went to a paintball park in Bowie, and I had all the mothers from around Congress Park cook the food. There was such a help. The mothers around Congress Park, that is my team. They do everything for me. Like, thank y'all. And basically we all met up, and when we met up, everybody was looking at each other all funny. Like it was little stuff where my DC kids was kind of aggressive, right? And they kept on saying, oh, y'all talk funny, kept playing with them. But as a man, I had to keep on redirection, right? Because we don't play with other men like that. These are men, right?
Right.
So from there, we started the paintball games, and then you know what happened? This is how you know that these are all still kids. Because after that first game, everybody was so tired, and then all of them was all best friends at the end of the day, right? So that was my first Baltimore versus DC match. Then I had friends in Philadelphia, right? So then I said, hey, we just did an awesome match. I think we should do this, right? And and I forgot, I teach in between the paintball, I teach a man time class, so it's not like
you mentioned that man time class. What exactly is that? I'm glad you.
Okay, all right. So
what is man time class?
So what I did was right now, I heard you speak earlier about how rap is changing, right? So, they listen to Lil Durk and they listen to my professional, what I think is murder music, right? So what I did was I took Lil Durk, I took T Grizzly, I took all these favorite murder type of people, but sometimes they have man time lines in it, right? So in my curriculum, Lil Durk said, I don't want to go to school because I respect my Grammy. And my granny's the only person that had me, right? So then what I did was, it's a multiple choice questions that comes up on the screen, and then I come up and I be like, so how do we respect our elders in the community? Lil Durk said he still respected his grandmother due to the fact that that's who had him, so he still went to school. Do y'all respect y'all grandparents? But it's multiple artists like that when they say things at times where I can transform it into a learning experience.
Okay,
and so I move like that.
I like that, man. Grab some bars and then make it educational.
I make it educational, yeah.
Love that.
So from there, Howard University started dealing with me. So Dr. Mitchell, are you aware of Dr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Y'all need to get Dr. Mitchell's new book also. Dr. Mitchell was inspired how I was doing all this different cities. So he was like, hey, I know the council member in New Jersey. That's my family.
What part of Jersey?
Newark, right?
Oh, okay.
So
wait. Are you talking? Wait a minute. Hold on. You're not talking about Mr. Dupree, right? Now you're not talking about Do It All, right? Used to be with the Lords of the Underground.
No, right now I can't remember her name, but it's
okay.
It's a woman.
Okay, yeah. Shout out to Do It All from Lords of the Underground. He's a council member from that same place. I'm gonna follow up on that. Go ahead.
So basically, at this point, it's funny though, right? Because my kids from Baltimore and my kids from D.C., they like all best friends, right? So when we just did this trip, and if one or two from Baltimore missing, they're gonna be like, where's what's the name, right? They be like, there is no more line between neighborhoods, right? There is no line, right? So that's how I know that all this is fake. All this neighborhoods things is fake, right? Because if I could bring 5 cities together and they're all best friends, right? That means anything's possible. So I'm gonna continue with the story. After the Philly match, then we did the Jersey, right? So, and then me and Dr. Mitchell, we spoke on how we're gonna get all these cities together, right? So we took all 5 cities, right? And we to the council members' chambers in Orange, New Jersey, right? Mm-hmm. And then we all taught a class to over like 40, 50 kids. And then we went to an underground paintball in Brooklyn, New York. So it was
wow.
Yeah, we stayed in the Hilton. Then we went to Times Square. We all partied all night. And those are like, like I see the change in my kids who underneath my directive.
Wow, that is amazing. Mm-hmm. That is amazing, man. I'm just, bruh. Mm-hmm. I'm so proud of you, bro. I mean, just thinking about, our relationship, us meeting at the Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement, you being an ambassador. And this was just like last year.
This is last year.
You mean to tell me you did all this kind of work in less than 300, or at least 365 days?
I mean, it's more than that. I've done a halfway house program. Excuse me. What I do with my kids is I make them to leaders, right? So my kids, we have 2 contracts. We have a contract with DC Peace Academy.
Okay.
And what I do there is I be like, listen, you need to go up in here and you need to learn how to network. We go to all different type of events, my kids, right? Because I say nobody's going to do nothing for you in life, right? I learned the hard way.
Right.
So you need to vocally speak. You need to learn. We sit down individually and learn how to do talking engagements, right?
Right.
And I'm like, this city wants to hear your voice, right? This city don't want to see you die. This is this right now. The city's changing where they kind of care about what you have to say, right? Mm-hmm. So you need to take full advantage of that, right? So we have 2 contracts. All my kids get paid $150 an hour to do contracts. I work with DC Peace Walks with Ghosting. We just have we just created a line. They're selling their own clothes. 60% go to their bank accounts right now.
Oh,
right?
They got bank accounts?
Yeah.
You said y'all got bank accounts?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm talking
about. Yeah, like I'm teaching all man time. I'm teaching man time.
Okay.
Because I didn't have a father, right? So I'm not going to let other people keep bumping their head. Right?
You know what? I'm going to ask you this, man, because I think this is also a common thread. Mm-hmm. The things that you didn't get from your father, is that the kind of things that motivated you to make sure that these other youth had those things? Because that's why I didn't have my father. And so all these things, as a father, I made sure that I gave these things to not only my children, but But I made sure that the kids that I work with got these things because I know that we had that relationship that they didn't. Like, for instance, I never got a birthday card from my dad. Ever. So I make sure all the little youngins that I work with, I give them a party. Does that kind of motivate? It's kind of the same thing as you?
So this is gonna be an interesting conversation, right?
Let's get interesting.
Let's get interesting, right?
Let's get interesting.
This is an interesting conversation, right? So when I start changing my life, because I was a predominant person in my neighborhood, everybody expected, oh, Marcelles, go get Marcelles, he gonna go do something about it, right? But when I started changing my ways and I started to become more of a businessman, right? I started seeing my men, I guess we could say, or my friends, right? I'm gonna give you an example. I got my first apartment, right? Before that, I was used to living with women, right? Because you know why? A man never showed me the simple steps on how to do certain things. So when I first got my first apartment, I was just in there in the air mattress. I was like, I gotta get forks, like you know what I'm saying. I have to get a shower curtain. It was things that I was accustomed to living with a woman, right?
Right.
So when I first got everybody came over my house. And then he was like, man, you got dishes in here. Like, I started getting inventive. I bought plants.
Oh,
I bought
okay.
plants. This is after Pathways.
Okay.
So I started buying plants, right? And then, you know what? Like right now, I have 4 men right now, right, that have bad past. They have apartments because of me. Not because I gave them anything, just because my walk of life, right?
Right. Was their example.
It was an example. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just that it takes certain men to start walking in certain directions to guide certain things. So in my opinion of it is you, Dr. Majid, I was able to take light, right? And then I brought light to a whole community. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I brought light to different cities. Representation, Baltimore. I have a whole neighborhood in Baltimore. I'm doing a turkey drive in Baltimore next week. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
You know what that neighborhood, when I come around, I'm not even from Baltimore. I don't know nobody in Baltimore. Right? And they like, Marcelles, thank you. When you brought our people to a congressman, to a council member. We never see nothing like that.
Right.
When I come through their neighborhood, they clap like, man, thank you. Like people are tired. Yeah, people are tired.
That's beautiful, man. Also shows you the power of getting the youth. And that's why it's important to get them into new environments, show them new things, because it shows them new possibilities in themselves, man. I appreciate you, man. Give it up for my man, Marcelles.
Thank you.
Representation from the bottom, man. God bless you and your work.
God bless you.
All right, before we go, we got to shout out some people, man.
Okay.
Who we shouting out to over at the Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement and the Pathways Program. Look in that camera. Who we shouting out?
Man, I'm shouting out Dr. Lavelle, Dr. Majid. I'm shouting out all my community partners I partner with. My DC Peace Walks I partner with. I'm Howard University. Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. I'm thinking Peace Academy. Thank you. I love y'all. You know, it was a lot of different
Marcus
parts that did
Ellis.
this. Marcus Ellis. I forgot about Marcus Ellis. So I appreciate everybody. Everybody walk this walk with me, and I'm being successful. I turn to black excellence.
All right, y'all see what y'all did, right? I want the whole city to y'all on notice. Look what y'all produced. That's what I'm talking about, all right? You have been watching Live from the District. Marcelles, information on the screen right now if you want to follow. We'll see you next time, all right? Peace.
Live from the district. Live from the district.